In the name of God, in this session, I want to review some matter of your previous session, and after that, we say some new subject about the phonology. As you know, in the previous session, we say something about the features, binary features. And we describe and we apply the binary feature for the Turkish vowel, which you can see in this table. According to this table, for Turkish vowel, we defined the Turkish vowel according to three features, which by minus and plus back, the minus and plus round, minus and plus high. According to these three features, we describe all of the vowels of Turkish language. But it is not the same for all of the languages. For example, in Arabic, we have just three vowels. A, I, U. In Persian, we don't have such a vowel. These three vowels are not exist in Persian, but we have another vowel instead of them. But as a whole, we describe the vowel of language according to these binary features. As you remember, here we have some data in Turkish, which I explained them for you in the previous session, but I want to review them and give more information about such a data. As I told you, for phonology, one of the important matter is knowing and you should be able to analyze the data to find the rules. We had such a word in Turkish, and we have their different form. For example, nominative singular. SG stands for singular and nom stands for nominative. Their nominative singular form, for example, for rope, is ip. And the genitive singular form is ipin. If you pay attention here, we add a suffix to this form, ipin. And for other words, which is with girls, we pronounce it as kız. We have kizin. Here we have different type of affix. And for face, which is use, we have yüzün. It stands for ü. Stamp, which is pull, we have pulun. If you pay attention here, we have four type of affix: in, un, which they come in different word. But for example, why here we use un, and here we have in, and here we have in, and here we have un? Based on what factor we choose the vowel of this affix, of this suffix. As you know, we had three features, which based on them we defined the Turkish vowel. There should be a shared feature between such a vowel, which based on them we choose this affix. Here we have E, and according to this vowel we use the in form of affix, of suffix. Here we have kiz, and the vowel of the suffix is the same as the vowel of the root. And here again we have the shared vowel between the suffix and root. And we here is the same as the previous data. Therefore, based on the vowel of the root, we choose the suffixes form in Turkish. We have three forms of suffix: in, un, un. and which according to the vowel of the root, we change them. We choose the different type of this vowel. But what is the shared, for example, the shared feature between such a vowel? E, E, U, U. Pay attention to this table, please. Okay. We have E, U, E, U. Here, this vowel are plus high. This four vowel are plus high. Therefore, when we have a plus high vowel in the root, our suffix will be match with the vowel of the root. When we have E, the suffix form of the vowel is E. When we have U, the vowel of the suffix is U. And when we have U, the suffix of the vowel is U. Therefore, when we have in this data, when our vowel is plus high, the vowel of the suffix is the same as that vowel. When they are minus round, minus back, the suffix of that word is minus round and minus back. They are the same with each other. Please pay attention to the set of the data. We have another type of data here. If we have Ellen, here in this four word, the vowel of the suffix was the same as the vowel of the root. But here it is not the same. The vowel of the suffix is not the same as the vowel of the root. For example, here we have Ellen. Here we have A, but here we have E. We have Sapin. We have A, and here we have A. Kuyun. Sunum. We have again this four type of affix: E, in, un. But why and according to the which feature we choose, for example here E, and according to the which factor we choose such a suffixes. Please pay attention to this data and think about them. Here we have A. According to the A, we choose E. We have A, and here we choose E. We have U, we choose U. If you pay attention to this data, they are not the same as the vowel of the root, like this for data. They are near to this vowel. A, U, U. When the vowel of the root is high, according to this data, the vowel of the suffix is high, is the same as the vowel of the root. But when the vowel of the root is minus high, like A, U, U, when the vowel of the root is minus high, we choose the vowel which is near to that the vowel of the root. For example, they have shared feature with each other, more shared feature with each other. For example, E and E have more shared feature than, for example, E and O. According to this, their shared feature, we choose such suffixes. For example, E and O. Pay attention to the table to find the shared feature of A and E, O and E. Okay. Here the vowel of the root in that data were a, u, a, o. They are minus high. But when we have we had a in the root, we choose in. They have a shared feature, more shared feature than this. For example, this vowel a has more shared feature than u with e. Therefore, both of them are minus round, minus back. They are the same according to this feature. Therefore, for the suffix of for the vowel of the suffix, we choose the vowel which have more shared feature with that the vowel of the root. For example, in the root we had a, and among these four vowel e, u, e, u, e is more near to a, and when we had u, we choose u because both of them are plus round minus back. They are shared. They have three feature, two feature in shared. Both of them are plus round minus back. And when we had a in the root vowel, we choose e because both of them are minus round plus back. And when we had u, we choose un, which they had both of them were plus round and plus back. That was the reason which we choose such a vowel. Please pay attention to the another data. We have a nominative plural. PL stands for plural. Nominative plural. Here we have two suffix, two form of suffix. Ip, ler. One of them is ler because here in the singular form of the word we have ip without any suffix. We have here ler. When we have quiz, we have lar. Therefore, we have two form of suffix, ler and lar. Use ler, pular, eller, sublar, coiler, sunlar. Pay attention to this data. When we have ler and when we have lar, I want to check this matter. When the vowel of the root is e, we have ler. When the vowel of the root is u, we have ler. When we have a, we have ler, and when we have u, we have ler. Here I want to find the shared feature between u, a, u, and e. E, u, o, and a. According to the which feature they are in the natural class. We have a, u, e. Okay, we have for ler we had these four type of vowel, e, a, u, u. Pay attention to this table and think about such a vowel. You think that according to the what feature they are the same with each other, and according to the what feature we can consider them as a natural class. The shared feature between them is which kind of this feature? As I told you, in Turkish we have three feature. According to the three feature, we describe the Turkish vowel: plus and minus high, plus and minus round, plus and minus back. I want to check this matter. I want to find the shared feature between these four vowels, which after this four vowel we have the suffix form of ler. Here e and u are plus high, but a and u are minus high. Therefore, they are not the same with each other according to the feature of high. I put it aside. According to the round, these two e and a are minus round, but these two are plus round. They are not the same with each other according to the feature of round. According to the back, these four vowels are minus back. These four vowels are minus back. Therefore, when we have minus back vowel in the root form of the word in Turkish, we choose the ler suffix. We choose the ler suffix. But when we have other vowel like e, u, a, and o, we choose the lar form of the suffix. The shared feature between these four vowels is that e, a, u, o. These four vowels are plus back. The shared feature between these four vowels is plus back. Therefore, when we have plus back vowel in the root form of the word, we choose the lar suffix. We choose the lar suffix. Okay, I want to check another data at the final row, at the final column. We check this data, but here we have a genitive plurative form of the word. Ip is the singular form of that word. Ler stands for the plural form of the word, and in stands for the genitive form of the word. And here again, lar is the suffix of the plural form, and in is the suffix for the genitive form. Ler is the plural form, plural suffix for the word, and in is the genitive suffix of the word. And here, based on the feature which I explained for you here, according to the vowel of the root, we choose the this suffix, which is in. They both of them, when the vowel of the root is plus high, we choose the vowel which is the same with that vowel of the root. But here we have when we have ler, okay, we choose the this type of suffix, which is in, ler, in. When we have lor, we choose in, this form of the suffix. Here we have two forms of the suffix for the genitive plurative. For the plurative, we have just ler and lar, which you know them, and I explain them here. Here we have the plural form of the word, and we want to add the suffix in, and in. I want to find the shared feature between the vowel of the suffix and the vowel of the plural form suffix. When we have ler, we have a, we choose e. If lerin. Again, when we have ler, we have in. When we have ler, we have in. When, as a whole, I can say that when we have the later form of the suffix, we choose in, but when we have lar, we choose in. I want to find the shared feature between in and a, e and a, e and a. The shared feature between this vowel. Okay. The shared feature between e, when we have offer lar, we choose the e form of the suffix in. The shared feature between these two vowels is that both of them are minus round plus back. Minus round plus back. The shared feature between E and A is that both of them are minus round and minus back. Minus round and minus back. I hope that you learn the way which I analyze that data. You should know this feature. Knowing this feature is very important because you should be able to explain as a phonologist, as a linguist person. You should be able to describe the vowel according to their according to these distinctive features. You should be able to predict the vowel according to this feature. They are very important and you should know them. In the previous session, I know that we told you something about the natural class. If you remember about the natural class, which we told you that a natural class is a class of sounds that can be designated by fewer features than are required to designate any one of its members. A natural class is very important because when we want to introduce introduce more vowel. We don't mention all of them. We introduce them by their features, by their natural class. For example, instead of this four type of vowel, in Turkish, for example, instead of mention this four type of vowel, they are not a natural class. I want to okay, here. When instead of saying, for example, e, u, e, u, when I just say plus high means this four type of vowel, and minus high means this four type of vowel. Instead of mention this four type of vowel, I just write plus high, or for example minus high. When I want to introduce, I want to say this four type of vowel, it is enough to write minus back. By minus back I mean this four type of vowel in Turkish. And when we say plus back, we mean such a vowel. According to the natural class, by natural class you introduce the vowel instead of mention all of member of that vowel. You should know the natural class. For example, when in the definition of natural class, we define natural class for you, but here according to the table I want to describe it. When I want to describe the E, for describing E in Turkish, For example, someone asked me to describe E vowel in Turkish. E vowel in Turkish. We should put this square bracket which show the phonetic form of that vowel. Some person wants me to describe E in Turkish according to the distinctive feature. As you remember, in Turkish we had we described the vowel according to 3 features. One of them was high. I want to learn you to describe the vowel according to their distinctive feature. Maybe for your final exam, I give you, for example, this vowel, and I want you to choose their feature. You should know them. You should practice them more times, many times. You should learn them. As a linguist, the important matter which you should know is that this feature. You should know. You should be able to describe the vowel according to this feature. We had a high, round, and back. According to these 3 features, we describe the Turkish vowel. Okay, for defining the E, I should put minus or plus for this feature to define E. E is what? E is plus high. Therefore, I put here plus high. About the roundness, E is minus round. About the back, E is minus back. According to this 3 feature, I describe E. When someone say you that this is the feature of which vowel, for example, they give you such a feature, plus high, minus round, minus back, and want you to guess the vowel. You should say that it is E. But here I want to you think about this feature. For example, here I want to change, for example, this feature. I want you to guess the vowel which is plus high in Turkish. Plus high, plus round, and minus back. Plus high, plus round, and minus back. Okay. Which vowel are plus high? We have these 4 vowels, which all of them are plus high. Okay, we here our vowel can be E, U, E, and U. But other feature is that plus round. Okay, which vowel are plus high, plus round? Plus high, plus round. Plus high are U, U. Plus high and plus round are U and U. But here we want to find just one vowel, the exact vowel. Minus back. Plus high, plus round, minus back is U. This in IPA we use the different vowel instead of this vowel. In IPA we use such a vowel, this vowel. In IPA we use this vowel. You should be able to define all of this vowel according to this diagram. This is very important. This is according to the IPA form of the vowel, and it is according to the American form of the vowel. In this book, our symbol are according to the American form of the vowel. I hope that in your phonetic lesson you should know, you should be familiar with such a vowel, and you should be able to describe all of this vowel, because as a linguist it is necessary for you to know such a vowel, and you should be able to describe them according to their feature. Okay, therefore that vowel was U. But I want to change, I want you to practice this feature, to learn them, because it is very, very important. I want to change, for example, this item, plus. Which vowel is plus high, plus round, plus back? Plus high, these four are plus high. Plus round, plus high and plus round are U and U. And other is plus back. Which one is plus high, plus round, plus back? Is U. Okay, it is U. You should be able to describe the vowel according to this feature. As I told you, for define a vowel in Turkish, we should mention this for this three feature. But when we describe, I want to describe the definition of natural class here. As you remember, for the definition of natural class, we told you that a natural class is a class of sounds that can be designated by fewer features. I want to explain this item. Fewer features than are required to designate any one of its member. Any one of its member. I want to explain this definition according to the features, because I want you to learn the natural class, because it is very important. Okay, I copy the definition of natural class here, and I want to explain it according to the Turkish data. As you remember, and I told you, for defining the vowel of Turkish, for defining any one of its member, we should have three features. Okay, when we want to describe one of that 8 vowel, when we want to introduce just one of that 8 vowel, we should mention this 3 feature. But when we define the vowel according to just for defining the any one of the Turkish member, we should have 3 feature. But when we define the sounds according to just 2 feature, according to the 1 feature, we say that here we have the natural class. For the defining of, I want to explain it. For the defining of one of the, for example, Turkish member, we should designate 3 feature. According to these 3 feature, we have just one of that 8 vowel. But by natural class, we means the class of sounds that can be designated by fewer features than are required to designate any one of its member. For designate any one of the Turkish member, Here I explained the definition of natural class according to the Turkish language, and you should consider it as a whole. For example, for Arabic, we describe the Arabic vowel according, for example, to 5 features. Therefore, for natural class, you should just mention the 4 feature, the 3 feature. 1 feature fewer than, for example, 5 feature. Here for Turkish, for defining the natural class for Turkish vowels, we should, for the natural class, we should refer to just 2 feature, not 3 feature, because by designating 3 feature, we have just one of the member of a vowel. But when we describe the vowel according to just 2 feature, we have the natural class. According to the 1 feature, we have natural class. Therefore, here for Turkish, a natural class is a class of sounds that is designated by 2 feature. Because for the for designated one of its member, we should have 3 feature. But when we define the sound according to 2 feature or 1 feature fewer than 3 feature, we say that here we have natural class. For example, when we define a sounds, for example, here we had U. I want to write it, I want to explain it according to example, and I hope you to learn it. But when here we have I want to find it is not natural class, it is just one member of the Turkish vowel. But here when I write the sounds here, that sounds are natural class because I designate them according to 2 feature, which is 1 feature fewer than 3 feature, which is enough to explaining one of the vowel of Turkish. Plus high plus round, plus high plus round. Which sounds are plus high plus round? Plus high plus round, plus high plus round. Ü, 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 ü. I want to write them down. Okay. Ü, I should use such a feature. Ü, they are according to the Arabic, to the American tradition, not IPA. According to the IPA, we don't have such a symbol. I want to find Ü, I couldn't find that symbol, but instead of that symbol I use, for example, this instead of that Ü. I mean by this sounds, I mean this sounds. Ü, I mean this, and U and O. and O. They are natural class in Turkish. For example, I want to find and here for example just one according to one feature we have according to, for example, minus high, we have e, u, a, o. According to the minus high, for example, the natural class here is e, o, a, and O. They are natural class and they are natural class. I hope that you get my get the point here. I try to define the natural class according to the Turkish vowel and Turkish features. For example, by this definition that we define the natural class, which is a class of sounds that can be designated by fewer features than are required to designate any one of its members. For example, in Turkish, for designate one of its member, we should have 3 features. And when we have fewer than 3 features, for example, we describe the sound according to 2 features or 1 feature, we say that they are the natural class. Here we have natural class and here we have natural class. By the definition of natural class, we mean such a sounds. But as I told you, it is not the same for all of the language. In all of the language, we define the sounds according to the this feature, but it is different in each language. I explain them for you, and I want you to read this line. I think that I read them for you in the previous sessions, and I just try to explain them according to data for you, and I want you to read them many times to learn and to get that point. Okay, about the Turkish vowel harmony, I think that I told you that matter, and I want to repeat it again. Okay, I want to read it. You know that what we means by vowel harmony. I think that I explained it for you in the previous session in the part of the language phonological processes. We told you about the vowel harmony. The plural suffix works a little differently. It has 2 phonological alternates, lor and ler, which I explained them for you. Its vowel is minus high, minus round, and it assimilate to the feature back of the preceding vowel. I explained them for you according to data. It could be represented as lor. Okay, when we show the capital form of the sound, we mean that it is the abstract form of that sound. Here I means that this capital A stands for E and A. It means that this lor stands for this 2 form of 2 phonetic representation of such sound, lor and ler. Therefore, when you have the capital form of the sounds, it means that it stands for all of the phonetic representation of that sounds, of that vowel, and it is the abstract form of that sound. Therefore, this lor stands for lor and ler. It could be represented as lor as a whole, where A represents the archiphonemes plus syllabic, minus high, minus round. The genitive plural is formed by the adding both suffixes to the root, the plural and then the genitive. I explained them for you according to data, but here I want to repeat them again. The suffix vowel assimilate by the rules already given, but note that the vowel of the genitive suffix assimilate to the immediately preceding vowel, which is the genitive plural is the vowel of the plural suffix, not the root vowel. Since the plural always has minus round vowel, the genitive suffix in the genitive plural always has a minus round vowel. In the most general form, we can state the rules for Turkish vowel harmony here, which I explained them according to data. Turkish vowel harmony, any suffix vowel agrees with the immediately preceding vowel in back. Any suffix vowel agrees with the immediately preceding vowel in back feature. It means that when the vowel of the root of the suffix is minus back, its preceding vowel should be minus back. When the suffix vowel is plus back, its preceding vowel should be plus back. A high plus high suffix vowel agrees with the immediately preceding vowel in round. It means that a plus high suffix vowel agrees with the immediately preceding vowel in round. For example, when they are plus high, they should be plus round. Minus high, minus round. They should be assimilated with each other, which match each other. It is only by appealing to natural classes of sound, expressed by distinctive features, that we are able to state the rule for this alternation in full generality. Okay, I explained them here. You have the description of that data. Okay, in chapter 4 we will introduce some formal notation for expressing these rules more compactly. Let us consider the concept of natural class in a slightly different light. Okay, I want to explain this matter in your next session, because I think, okay, let me to explain it. I don't want to it be hard for you. Okay, I explain it in this session. Let us consider the concept of a natural class, because I defined the natural class for you in this session. Let me to explain it again in this session. Let us consider the concept of the natural class in a slightly different light. The set of Turkish vowels contain 8 members, as I told you, 8 members. Minus high, minus plus high. In set theory, it is shown that any set of n element, for example vowel, has a total of 2 n subset, including the null set of the entire set. That is, a set of 8 elements, for example in Turkish, has 256 subset. But only a small fraction of these subset are natural classes, as defined in fact. There are, in fact, 2 natural classes of the Turkish vowel defined in terms of the 3 features: high, back, round. They are given. Okay, we can have, for Turkish, we can have 256 subset of the natural classes, but in fact, just 20 of them are acceptable in Turkish. For example, according to this feature, both of them, 2 of them, because for designated one member of that sounds, we should mention these 3 features. But when we describe them according to the definition of natural class, when we define them according to 2 features, by 2 features or one features, we say that we have natural class. Here, 6 classes defined in terms of a single feature. For example, when we define the natural classes according to just one feature. plus high, which we have such a sounds. For minus high, we have such a natural class. All of them are natural class, but sometimes we define them according to just one feature, like here. According to plus back, we have such a natural class. According to the minus back, we have such a natural class. According to the plus round, we have such a natural class. According to the minus round, we have this class. But 12 classes defined in terms of two features. For the natural class in Turkish, we should mention according to two features or one features, not three features, because according to three features, we designate one member of that members. But for natural class, we define them. We in the definition of natural class, we say that the natural class, the feature of natural class are one fewer than the feature which is needed for the definition of the any one of that feature. For example, in Turkish, we designate one vowel according to three features, and when we define the sound according to two features or one feature, we say that we have natural class. For example, here according to feature, for example, plus high, plus back, we have these sounds. They are natural class. Plus high, minus back, we have such a sound. They are natural class. Minus high, plus back, O and O, they are natural class. Minus back, minus high, we have such a sound. They are natural class. And here, according to the plus high, plus round, plus high, minus round, minus high, plus round. Now we show the natural class by such a symbol, curly bracket, not square bracket. A square bracket is for feature, but curly bracket is for their example. Minus high, minus round is A and O. Plus back, plus round is O and O. Plus back, minus round, minus back, plus round, minus back, minus round. 8 classes defined in terms of three features, each containing a single vowel. The null set plus the entire set. Okay. We therefore see that the number 20 of natural classes of sound designated by three features, excluding the classes of a single vowel each in 8C, is considerably less than a total number of classes. 256 of these sounds. They claim that phonological rules operate in terms of natural class rather than arbitrary ones, is therefore not a trivial one. Okay, I think it is enough until the further vowel features. I want you to practice this sounds. I put these sounds for you, not this sound. These sounds, they are IPA sounds, which you should know such a sounds, their definition, their features. You should be able to explain all of these sounds according to their feature. In the next session, I will explain them for you, and I hope that you will be familiar with them in your phonetic lesson. And I will explain them for you according to the distinctive features. They are very important. You should memorize this diagram, and you should memorize the position of each sound. You should be able to describe them. In the next session, I will explain these sounds. I want to learn you to define them, to describe them according to their feature. Please ask me your questions through the WhatsApp group, because phonology is very important. You should learn phonology, and I try to teach you in a way which is clear for you. But I know that it is not easy. You should read this lesson many times. You should look at this movie many times to learn the phonology matters. Thank you.